All right, so we had a question about problem 1 from the week 4 homework, part D. You'll see some vertical lines around the Z on part D and not on part A, B, and C. So you may remember what the vertical lines mean, but it's absolute value. Now, even if you know it means absolute value, it's still kind of hard to understand what it really means. I'm not sure if everyone has the same exact number. It may vary, but yeah, maybe everyone has the same numbers. We'll see. So the probability that Z, absolute value around the Z's, is greater than 2. That's the question. Z being a normal distribution with mean equals 0, standard deviation equal to 1. So it's given to you in the problem, which is known as the standard normal distribution. So what the absolute value means, you may remember it's like it's the positive and negative. So the absolute value, if it's equal to 2, Z would be equal to 2 and negative 2. That's kind of the idea. So this represents it, and it helps draw a picture. Let's see here. So we have a mean 0, standard deviation, positive, negative 1, normal distribution. So we have 2 and negative 2. So you may be able to get to 2 and negative 2 from the absolute value. Now, being greater than 2, we know we'll include that. So let's think of what will also satisfy the absolute value of Z is greater than 2. Now we know that, like, well, just imagine like negative 5, Z being negative 5. The absolute value of negative 5 is equal to 5 if we were to plug that into here. So notice that 5 is greater than 2. So yeah, and so all the way in the negative 5 direction will also be shaded. But what you'll notice is everything to the left of negative 2 also be shaded. So that's what we're trying to find the probability of. This means that the probability that Z is less than negative 2 plus, and because we also want to include this other probability, the probability that Z is greater than 2. Now, and I should have told you this before, but I'm hoping everyone's doing this. You should be watching the videos in the course, and the video that really will be helpful here to watch before you watch this video is, well, the section 3.1 video, and then also the normal distribution and TI calculators. That video will also help to understand what I'm about to go over, and some of this notation I've already gone over. But you'll also want to pull up, use your TI-83 to calculate this. So let me pull that up. All right, so this is where I had to put the calculator. Didn't want to cover up this area over here. So let's clear this out. Okay, so what we want to do, if you watch that second video I mentioned, the normal distribution and TI calculators, you'll have an idea of where this is located, but you'll want to go to second VARS and then go down to normal CDF. And the TI-84 video, actually, in the video they show how to use the TI-84. It's a little different because there's a menu that comes up after this, and it has the lower bound, upper bound, and all that. You enter the same information in, but you separate your numbers with commas. You just have to know the first thing, lower bound, comma, then upper bound. So how I would do, so I want to figure out each of these, so individually, and add them together. So I can do this in 2 steps or in 1, but so what I'll want to enter in is normal, on the calculator, normal CDF, and the lower bound is the first thing I'll enter. The lower bound for less than 2, or less than negative 2, so the lower bound, it's just going to go down forever because it's less than. So you can just put a really small number. It's fine. And then we'll go up to negative 2. And then the mean is 0, standard deviation 1. Okay, and then we'll want to add the same thing, normal CDF. And then we're going to go from 2 up forever, greater than 2. So we're going to go from 2 the lower bound now, and then we'll go up to some really large number, and then mean 0, standard deviation 1. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to enter this in to see what we get, but let's see. So we'll go negative some, whoops, doesn't matter which really large negative number, comma, -2, comma, 0, comma, 1. And then we can add, and then we're going to go back to normal CDF and go to get that. Okay, normal CDF, and then enter in 2, comma, some really large number, comma, 0, comma, 1. And notice that, I mean, I just hit a bunch of zeros. It doesn't really matter. Once you get up to a certain point, even like 100 or so, it's large enough. And then we get our solution. There's our probability. Make sure you do your rounding correctly. But this is how you approach Part D. Hopefully you understand how to use a normal CDF in general. But this is a good way. This was a good example to show how to use a normal CDF on a TI-83, because they use the TI-84, which looks a little different. Let me know if you have any other concerns. The absolute value is the main thing we're really going over. So hopefully that makes sense now in Part D. All right, talk to you later.